So welcome to another video, guys. My name is Daniel and I'm actually on a scout trip. The rest of the children are sleeping inside that hut while I'm actually going to sleep under the tarp tonight. My stuff set up there, and basically I'm doing a winter overnight. So I checked the weather. I think it's around like -3 Celsius degrees. So the snow isn't melting, and the temperature is pretty wind still and very good. That's the best with winter time, that you can actually make a fire and just relax outside without being cold at all with the bonfire. So I'm gonna share with you what I normally do when I go on to try to do some winter camping. I know I have done this before, but I think there might be a very long video. So number one, if you are going to have a winter camp overnight, how to stay warm: make a fire, and you can basically make it as big as you want. When you have fire, just make it as big as you want. Right now it's very cold, so I'm just gonna have something to look at and spend the night here while I also go back and check for my scouts. Alright, so the trick for sleeping comfortable outdoors is to first take care of the shelter situation. I have a tarp just in case it's gonna rain, so I can sleep under, and the quilt is a bit water repellent, and the fjellduk that I have here is even more water repellent. So that will provide me from shelter from the elements. Alright, so the fire is practically doing itself. It's so warm that I don't need to really worry about it. So what you can do that with the fire is to actually boil warm water, and this is boiled. This is super warm, and it's a plastic Nalgene. Nalgene is good because it's very solid. It doesn't break, and it's big, so you can actually it's very good to have a warm bed and put it in maybe between your core. The core is what you really need to take care of. So I'm gonna sleep with this inside the quilt. Now what I have here is a inflatable sleeping pad, and I think it's more important to have something that is insulated and thick, long and wide, so if you turn and sleep on the side, you're going to be able to actually sleep better. So really the point I have told it before is that you have to emulate or a simulation of what you are sleeping with at home. So you need to like transfer that to put it outdoors as well. This sleeping pad also has some kind of a underground layer, so it doesn't get, if it get wet, it doesn't, the sleeping pad will not get all wet due to this track that is serves as a liner. And the good thing about this is that it also emulates like a liner that you have at home. And also it has some protection from underneath, so it doesn't get wet basically. So it's a very good winter pad. It's gonna be heavy though, but you sleep comfortable in that. So this is my shelter pod. Inside there I have also the liner there. They also provides you with the bed feeling, so it gets even more comfortable, but I'm not going to use that today. So this quilt is the next thing. This is my winter quilt down to -12, and it's locked there with a stretch cord, so I doesn't fall down to the snow with that. And over I'm gonna put the fjellduk, and then I have here something close to my pillow at home, with some kind of a liner feeling to it, so it's super comfortable. In my shelter pod or clothing pod I also have some down booties, so I actually take off my socks and I put this on because it gives me more circulation for the blood and air to circulate and actually get more warm. The thing is also that it's a good idea to drink something warm, hopefully not coffee, or drink something, some kind of a noodle or cocoa before you go to bed. That way your core inside here is gonna be nice and warm when you lay to bed, and your stomach hopefully has some good food. However, if you dry meals, your stomach's gonna get a lot of proteins and you might not sleep well, and maybe you get like a reflux syndrome, or so you just like burp all the time, you know. So don't overeat, but have a nice warm drink before you go to bed, and hopefully not coffee maybe, but cocoa or noodles or something really easy. So another thing also is to actually go to the toilet before you go to bed. And on my shelter here, so I don't have to actually go outside, especially if they are windy. I actually have a pee bottle, so it's easier to me to just do it aside the quilt instead of going out of the quilt and getting cold again. So it's a good recommendation to actually have a pee bottle, because you drink and eat more than normal when you are outdoors. So one of my biggest concerns when it comes to people sleeping outdoors is that I see too many people actually dressing too much. And the problem with that is that if you dress too much, you're gonna have less circulation through the body, and you will eventually get cold. In the army we call it kuma stealing. I'm not sure if it is something in the scouts, but what I normally do when I sleep is that I actually either sleep with this wool here, merino wool fleece, and then I have like a netting there that actually provides with some airflow. So I also have that on my pants, some long johns with the same material as my netting here, and that will keep me very warm. Also, if you have cold feet, it might be a good idea to actually wear thin socks like I'm using now, and have a bigger space on your shoes, so you can actually move your fingers inside the shoes. It's the same principle basically, that you don't lose your airflow that you have in your inner core. If you get cold on your fingers or head or feet, is probably because your inner core is getting cold. So you can take some gloves and something, but just don't use too much. Rather use the layers on the bed instead of your clothing. So that's why it's easier actually to get cold in a hammock than you normally do when you sleep like this, because you are not compress that much. Yeah, I don't have my beanie on, but it's a good idea to actually have a beanie when you are sleeping outdoors like this. I think I have mentioned it all. Water, several layers of shelter, drink and eat something warm before you go to bed, boil something to have inside your quilt, have an airflow in here, and have a big fire basically as well. That's a good motivation. So it's almost time for me to go to bed. All the others are now sleeping inside the hut just beside me. I hope you like this video, guys, and see you on a base camp video next week. Scout decided to join me. Friluftsliv-youtuber.